Hi Cancer, here's a general look at your solar chart for September 2015, and it's about practicalities, it's looking at resources maybe, it's looking keeping a weather eye on the piggy bank, but also there's been a major change of emphasis recently, and it will be further emphasized this month with the shifting of Saturn from Scorpio into Sagittarius. So the emphasis is coming out of the fixed signs with the move of Saturn, and into the mutable signs with the move of Jupiter as well. So both Saturn and Jupiter are going into mutable signs. And that's not particularly interesting for your Sun position, Cancer. Although you will tend to feel a huge benefit from the position of Jupiter over the coming 12 months, because this potential of Jupiter will be more beneficial towards the water and earth signs. So more on that later. There's also going to be a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse in Aries. And Aries, of course, is at the top of your chart in your professional area, so this might mean a new beginning there, or it could mean you've got this sense of a new beginning or turning over a new leaf in your general life direction as well, and it would be good a good thing to be doing something in that direction on the day of the eclipse. Now, for the faster moving energies, until the 23rd, the Sun is in a sociable, busy area, and you could be meeting and greeting more, you could be on the road more, you could be flying hither and thither in your head. You may have to get, maybe there's more mentally on your plate, or maybe it's just to do with contacts and correspondence and using technology. The mental focus could revolve around family, extended family, the neighbors, or it could be property matters. It could be something to do with a location, a geographical location. So correspondence or discussions may be related to that. And also it could be a blast from the past. You could be mulling over the past. You could be harking back to the past. There could be reminders of the past. You could be considering a legacy or an inheritance of some kind. So it could be any of those sorts of things. But it feels like a pretty social time in and around a base of operations, whether you're actually at home or not. Both Venus and Mars are in a very sociable, both Venus and Mars are in a very practical area, meaning that you've got to get organized in a get more organized in a physical security orientated sense. Mars is there until the 25th, so the piggy bank, possessions, property, any other bit of territory over which you have responsibility, or you have to maintain or protect in some way, and being dynamic in your initiative and your decision making, and then taking the initiative and getting going with it. It might be that you're ditching stuff. It could be like that. You could be decluttering. You could be having a sort out. It could be those sorts of things. It could be that you're trying to get your hands on more, and it could be, as I say, to do with the piggy bank as well, and figuring out how to improve things there, how to schedule things in a way which is realistic. But whatever it is about, your physical strength could be stretched as you try to work through what needs to be done. Now, Venus is also there, which is rather nice, because where Mars is like Ken, Venus is a bit like Barbie. So, and maybe, that's me really being quite flippant in what Venus is about. She has a lot more depth to her than that, but just for the purposes of this, I'll just say, the difference between them is like that. So Venus, who can sort of wrap things up with a pretty little ribbon on it, means that again, your area of finances, your area of property and possessions might mean that there's good things coming towards you in the pipeline. It can be that, but still you're putting the effort in, you're getting sorted. However, chances are stacked in your favor that there could be goodies coming to you in the pipeline. However, if we turn the energy of Venus around, it might mean that we are being more indulgent with ourselves. We are putting our hands in our pockets more. Or we maybe have to, make a small outlay to get a much, much bigger reward back, which can very much be happening with Venus. Now, it might be financial, but it can be in other ways as well, where somebody just lays something on us out of the blue and it's like, oh, thank you very much. Or it might not be like that. It might be that you and a partner are working very, very hard with your sort of hearts and minds together in this area to improve things. Capitalize upon assets, maybe, that kind of thing. That could be it. Or maybe you're just hanging out with another and really enjoying what you have, appreciating the good things in life, so it can be like that as well. Or it might be a mixture of them all. Although Venus stays in there, Mars moves out of there and goes into the next sector, which is the one that the Sun's just moved out of on the 25th. So the Sun, I described to you about the communications and flitting hither and thither and making connections, and maybe having more on your mind. The Sun moved out of there on the 23rd and Mars moves into there on the 25th. So that means that your mental processing might be accelerating. There could be more effort going into correspondence, communications, negotiations, paperwork, connecting up with people, or even information exchange or information technology and equipment that goes with it. So sometimes you could feel a bit overloaded with too much information, or it might mean that somebody is being pushy, somebody's being aggressive even. So you have to, stamp that foot down and say, okay, this is where we draw the line here. However, Venus, again, she can be, enlist the services of Venus in order to not just be a yes person, but to be diplomatic. And being diplomatic, especially related to material security and material resources like money or other very, very useful possessions and spaces, territories, whatever. So in general, there could be more correspondence, as I said, flying around, more on your mind, but also, maybe this is the time to really, really grasp the bull by the horns and get something off your chest, if that's not mixing metaphors. Then from the 23rd, the Sun moves, well, not then, but already the Sun's moved into the base of operations around property. So we get these repeating energy flows in the same sort of areas, to do with maybe not physical property. It might be to do with your private life, family. It might be to do with the neighborhood. It might be to do with the community, and putting that center stage for quite a brief period. It'll be about 4 weeks. But buying, selling, renting, leasing, or matters related to it, or people related to it, or businesses related to it, might be more center stage, and you could be mulling things over. Also, you could be pondering more and feeling things, being a little bit more sensitive. Just listen to your instincts, though, because instincts will be really, really near the surface and trying to speak to you. Now, there are other things going on. We've got Neptune and Jupiter opposite each other. Now, Saturn has returned to her previous position. Well, she will do that from September the 17th. And it means ultimate success if you, over this coming 2 years of Saturn there, put your nose to the grindstone, put your shoulder to the wheel, really push forward with something, hopefully that you really identify with, that you're really interested in, that you can really, through, work, smart work, not necessarily tiring yourself out, but working in a smart way at something, and this can be, your day job, but also it can mean hobbies, it can mean other things that you do outside of the day job, or maybe it's a day job that you've chosen and you are the creator of. But whatever it is, it just means that you've got to be more patient, you've got to be more persevering to get things to come together, to get the act together over the next 2 years. And also, it might not be so much to do with work, daily work and chores and maintenance and repairs, all of which comes under the umbrella of this house. But it might be to do with health matters for some of you. It might be a mixture of the two, and it might not be your health matter, it might be somebody else's, or it might not be like that. It might be, as I say, a mixture of the two. And it's just keeping your eye on the ball, really, and getting organized, getting things more how you want them to be. And you Cancerians born the 22nd, 23rd of June, or the 21st, 22nd of July, or with from 2 degrees rising or from 28 degrees rising to the end of the sign, you're going to feel the energy of that the most this forecast period. Now, back to Jupiter. Jupiter is opposite the Neptune in the wheel. They're opposite each other just after the first week, really, of September. And that can be a little bit pie in the sky, a little bit idealistic, that energy there. It can mean that there's vague energies flying around, maybe unreliability flying around, or deception flying around. What you see isn't quite what you're going to get, sort of energy that might be coming towards you. It might be coming from you to another. Another might see you as like that. So you just have to deliberately get more real with whatever you're doing. And I think you're going to be helped because there's a steadying influence coming in from the total lunar eclipse on the 28th. Not until well, actually, probably, before the 28th, even though it actually happens on the 28th. You'll feel it before, because that energy often does start to be sensed before it even happens. And this one is going off in your area of your life direction, but also your career area. But it is connecting very nicely to Saturn. So this might be a shifting in the way you're working, or it might be, if you just tweak something there in a practical way, or in the way that you're handling your daily chores and tasks and the to-do list, it will help you to consolidate. So there might have been a previous plan which was a little bit castles in the air, really, head in the clouds, and then then you come back down to earth, and then you get on with like the plan B. It can be working like that, or maybe not. So, and now we have for you Cancerians a mention of Uranus. Uranus and Pluto aren't really moving very much at all at the moment. So for you Cancerians born the 9th to the 14th of July, with 18 to 21 degrees rising, you're going to feel the energy of that very, very changeable energy in your career area, and also in the area of the direction of the trajectory, really, the path of your life. There's this feeling, if you're born in that sort of area there, window of time there, it might mean that things are a bit up in the air, and there's uncertainty or this restlessness there going on. And it might be altogether a good thing because it sort of liberates you from the ball and chain of whatever was going on before. But it might feel a little bit of a surprise and like, oh, can I really cope with this? It might be to do with technology as well, and looking for improvements there in that sort of way. So that's you born 9th to the 14th, or with 9 to 21 degrees rising, 18 to 21 degrees rising. And then Pluto, the 4th to the 6th of July, or with 12 to 14 degrees rising. And that is coming from your opposite sign. So sometimes dramatic sometimes dramatic, sometimes a time in their life which is really a crunch moment, and it's not directly to you, it's indirectly through what goes on with them, but they might bring it to your doorstep because of what's going on with them. And also deeper, more meaningful relationships, but also a maturing in your understanding of what your needs and requirements are in relationships as well. And this will be through the Pluto energy manifesting. So somebody Plutonic coming into your life who isn't really a person, he or she is a planet. And that is a kind of a nice way of looking at it. And that's it for September. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those. And also the bones of this is written up on my website. Perhaps not all the asides. So you can find it there, DianaGarland.com. And I will see you